Hi, this is Brendan Davis from Bedrock Games and the Bedrock blog. And it's very early. I just woke up. I have not had my coffee. I probably won't be having my coffee for like an hour, apparently, because I'm all out. So I'm going to do a video review of a film called Butterfly and Sword. It's a 1993 Wuxia movie. It's directed by Michael Mock and stars Michelle Yeoh, Donnie Yen, Joey Wong, Tony Leung, and Elvis Tsui. I might be forgetting somebody. It's very late in the or very early, and if I mispronouncing again, I apologize. But it's a great cast. It's based on a Gu Long story. It's in fact based on the same story as Killer Clans, and it covers it in such a different way than that movie does. The storyline is really pretty simple, but because of the way it's told, it's a little confusing. The first time I saw it, I was a little. There's a number of flashbacks and the way it kind of cuts from one uh, development to another is just you kind of have to fill in some of the gaps yourself and say, oh, where did they move to now? But then the second and third time I saw it, I was actually fairly easy to follow, and I was pretty surprised by how simple the story itself was. So it's just about a group of kids who are kind of like orphans, and they're led by Michelle Yeoh's character, Sister Ku, who who kind of raises them. And when they grow up and enter the martial world, they're pretty much assassins working for a master. And in the film, they have to kill the head of elite Vila clan. And there's a whole other sort of political subplot, but I don't want to get too into it because it might spoil the ending for you. So so that's basically the storyline. There's a romantic sort of side story that goes on as well, where Tony Leung and Joey Wong are a couple, but Michelle Yeoh, her character is in love with the Joey. I'm sorry, the with Tony Leung's character. His character's name is Singh, and Donnie Yen's character is in love with Michelle Yeoh. So you get sort of that love triangle that you often have in these films, and I think Michelle Yeoh does a really good job with that part of the story. So does Tony Leung, and Donnie Yen's good in the role he plays as well. I mean he's great for the action, obviously, but he kind of plays the drunken swordsman from the Killer Clans movie. He's sort of that same character, the drunken swordsman who is unlucky in love. So and I think he was a good choice because he actually looks a lot like the guy who played that character in Killer Clans. I was it was pretty striking actually. So and again, Michelle Yeoh is wonderful in the action sequences. I love the action in this movie. I think that it's some of the best wire fu that I've seen, and I'm reviewing it today because it's a film that influenced Wandering Heroes of Ogre. There's a number of techniques in the book that are derived from it. So this isn't one of the reviews. I know I've been doing a string of reviews of movies that I've just recently seen. This is one where I have seen the movie before, so I guess it's kind of a cheat review. But I did make a point of watching it again last night. So I wanted to make sure that I remembered everything and hadn't forgot details. But but yeah, but the action, this was a strong influence in Wandering Heroes of Overgate. It's very gonzo, very over the top. It opens up with somebody who's getting their face sliced right off, and then from there it's just a string of beheadings and palings. I don't. There's a particular technique in this where they literally fly through the air and their whole body just goes through another person's body and the person implodes and they're just constantly finding inventive ways to tear up other people in this movie. It's in the final scene, it's borderline ridiculous, but I really like this kind of stuff. It's sort of like it's a little dose if you've ever seen the movie Dead Alive. It's not that level of splatter or gore, but there's just a little dose of that in this that I think works. It's not overwhelming. It's not like the lawnmower scene in Dead Alive where it's literally slop all over the place. But there are moments that are very gory and bloody and surprising, and I think it works and I like it. I think and yet the movie is very character focused. It's I mean there's a lot of really great action, but you really do get pulled into the romantic subplot and into the just the whole situation that the characters are in. So for me, it's I think it's great on all counts. It's got some nice little comedic beats too. Not a whole lot, but the ones that are in there are, I think, pretty good. And again, the wire fu is just so gonzo, and it's very sort of a lot of these 90 wuxia movies have this editing and like they film at odd angles, and it can be a little bit disorienting, but it works. I like that, but it's just something to be aware of. But even with that, you don't lose sight of the action. It's still, I mean, you still have Donnie Yen and Michelle Yeoh in this, and Tony Leung is good too, and Elvis Tsui is one of my favorites. I kind of think of him like the Gary Oldman of these movies, always in these drama series and Hong Kong films, and he's just, I think, a really incredible villain. As a he plays good bad guys, he plays good tough guys, he plays good sort of boasting, loud and boisterous characters. So I guess I would say it's like if Gary Oldman and Brian Blessed had a baby, it would be this guy. So he's a real enjoyable in this because he gets to play the guy that they have to kill. Um, and yeah, so I think it's a good movie. I wish I could talk more about it. I hope I'm not forgetting anything important because it is very early. One thing I should mention is the ending. This version is the Tai Sang version. This is the one that I happen to get. There's a couple of others that I've seen, but I think it's getting increasingly hard to get DVDs of this. And I don't know, when I first saw it, I think I might have rented it, and I don't know which version it was. I think it's this version, but I'm not 100% sure. As far as I know, this has all the content. The only difference is there isn't the original edit ending was not a happy ending, or at the very least, it's an ambiguous ending. And I think the ending that they ended up distributing everywhere, they kind of cut it at an odd spot, so it's like they cut right before it gets sad, and it just looks a little weird. But this version has that alternate. It has the original ending, but you have to go to the menu and watch it. So what I would recommend is watching the whole movie, then going to the menu, selecting the alternate ending, and watching that. There might be another version that has that ending. I don't think I've ever seen one that does. But as far as I know, it's all the other scenes are in there. I believe it's 88 minutes or something like that. So it's I don't know, but when I checked out the time length on the version that I have, I think I have the version that's pretty much out there. But if anybody knows anything about that, let me know. This is a movie I like the movie, but I haven't really investigated the alternate versions of it. So I'd be interested to hear on that. And again, I think it's great. It's over the top, wonderful action, wire fu, and has an incredible cast. So definitely worth watching. It is older. You will be able to see that. It's not. I know they had it up on Netflix not too long ago, and I took a look at that one. The sound on that was really weird. This doesn't have that problem, but you can just tell from the music and from the fadedness of the image that it's a little bit older. Again, early '90s. So some of those movies have preserved well, some haven't. This is sort of in the middle, I think, in terms of how the image quality looks. So I will let you go, and I will be online again in the next few days. I'll probably talk about Police Story, but I also I started ordering the sequels to Temple of the Red Lotus, and I'm going to be reviewing those. But in the process, I one of the companies I ordered or tried to order from, they originally the order went through, and I guess when they went to check their stock, they found out that they didn't have it. So what they did, because they felt bad, was they said, well, you know what, we're just going to send you a random Shaw Brothers movie. And I thought that was kind of cool, and I was like wondering what I was going to get, and I got this movie I had never heard of. I probably should have heard of it. I think it's called Journey of the Doomed. I'm not 100% sure. When I looked it up, it sounds like it's like the last wuxia movie Shaw Brothers ever did. So, but I was not familiar with this movie, and I haven't seen it, so I'm going to check it out. I've heard some things about it. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it as much as some of the other movies that I review, but we'll see. Maybe I'll be, a lot of times one of the things I love about reviewing wuxia, one of the things I love about watching wuxia is there's not really like a consensus out there, because it's it's not like I know what other people's opinions are and they know what my opinion is, and there's people just kind of say what they think, and so you don't do this thing which I think people sometimes do with more popular films because they know what the critics have said and they know what the general opinion is. They tend to move their opinion towards what other people feel because it's just more comfortable to agree with people. And so with Wuxia, I just find I'll love a movie and someone will say it sucks, and someone else will hate a movie and I'll think it's the best thing in the world. So I think I get a more honest reaction to it because that's all I can provide. I can't really go and find a critical consensus to align myself with. So it's actually informed the way that I watch, more popular movies, because now I'm just more aware of that when I'm watching a film. I try to focus on my reaction, not really worry about other people's. So I know it's a sidetrack. It's early, like I said. I was hoping not to go on a side rant, but the point is, I did get this other film, and I'm looking forward to reviewing it. And it was a complete surprise, and I was very pleased the company did that. They didn't have to do that. They could have just said, "Hey, we don't have it. I'm sorry," and cancel the transaction. But they were kind enough to send me a random movie. Um, so I appreciate it, and I will be reviewing it. And so I'll be online soon, and I will talk to you later.